So the first thing I'm going to show you how to draw is a unicorn. So for our unicorn, we need a nice long nose, much like a horse would have. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to come down at an angle. I'm going to round it off. Give it a little dip, and then he needs a cheek. Our unicorn has a little cheek right there like a horse would. Now we're going to do its neck, down like this. And since I'm just doing a unicorn head, I'm going to stop there and bring it over right there. The next thing I want to do is my unicorn's ear. My ear is going to be just above where I stopped this line. So I'm just going to kind of draw an imaginary line up to this point, and then I'll draw my ear. My ear is just kind of like a little triangle. Just like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give my unicorn his mane. So I would give it a nice flowy, that soft hair that's up there, and bring it right back there and stop. The next thing I want to do is give my unicorn some bangs or some little hair up here. So we're going to give it like a little curly cue. And up and over. Now what I'm seeing is that I may have gone a little off. So what I'm going to do is just bring this line up to my bangs right there. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. That's okay. And another thing I could do is just give it a little bit more hair right here if I wanted to. I'm going to next do my ear. This is my other ear. So if I'm looking at my unicorn, I see one, all of it, and then I see the back of another. So this one doesn't need to be as big as this one because it's further back away. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give my unicorn his horn. A nice straight line out that way, and then another nice straight line to make a good cone shape. Now I'm going to give my unicorn's horn some spirals. All the way up to the tip. Now I'm going to go ahead and give my unicorn a little nostril right here, a little spot to breathe. I'm kind of making like an oval shape, really light and nice. Doesn't have to be too dark. Now my unicorn needs an eyeball. So about right here, about where the horn started, I'm going to give it a little circle for an eyeball. About that size. And I'm going to fill it in almost all the way. I'm going to choose to leave a little white dot as part of the eye, but you don't have to. You can fill it all the way in, or you can leave a nice little white dot. Then I'm going to give my unicorn, because right now he kind of just looks like he's staring off into space. So I'm going to give him a little bit more detail with a little eyelid. And my eyelid got a little big, so I'm just going to fill back in, make my eye look a little bit bigger. There we go. Then I'm going to take a minute and give my ear a little bit more detail. Just a little line so I can see that I'm looking at the inside of his ear. It's like if you have a cat or a dog at home, you can see right now when you look at their ears that they have an outer lining of their ear and an inner part of their ear. So since we're looking at this part of the ear, we want to show that. Next, I'm going to finish my mane. So I'm just going to kind of give some squiggle lines. They are kind of coming to a point. It doesn't really matter. Just kind of some squiggles and squiggle them back over. And here I'm just going to stop here. Now what I'm going to do to add a little bit more detail is go back in and put some lines in between. So I'm going to pick like right here. And just give it a little bit more there. All right, now my unicorn's done. I could keep adding some detail, or I could go ahead and start coloring. And I think we're gonna go ahead and start coloring. So coloring our unicorn. The cool thing about a unicorn is that since it's a magical animal, we don't have to use make sense colors. We could use whatever we want. So I know a lot of times in class, when you're coloring, your teachers are always asking you to use colors that make sense with what you're coloring, which is great. We do. We needed to have some real life pictures. But since a unicorn is a make-believe animal in the first place, I can use all sorts of crazy colors. I'm going to stick with different colors of blue because I kind of want it to look like our mascot does. But you guys could use rainbow colors, or you could use pinks or greens, whatever is your favorite color even. You could have a favorite color unicorn. I'm putting some kind of, it says silver, but when it gets on the paper, it kind of looks gray because it's hard to really actually show silver with a colored pencil. But maybe you have a silver crayon. Those are pretty cool. Or a marker. Or you don't even have to use silver at all. You could use any color you want. I see a lot of unicorns that have gold horns, so that would be a cool thing to do. Now I've got 4 different blues that I'm going to use. So really, I could just pick one color and color straight down, and that's fine. And I definitely know that some of our younger friends are going to do that. It's okay. But if you want to show more detail, I want you to get a couple colors that are all in the same color family. So these are all a type of blue, but they're all different blues. So right now, I want you to look at your hair. Is your hair just one color? Like if your hair is brown, is it only one color of brown, or are there different shades? There's different shades in everybody's hair. So it would make sense that our unicorn would have different shades in his hair or her hair as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all these colors to help me draw. What I'm going to start with is my lighter colors, and I'm going to color it all in with a nice light blue. And it doesn't have to cover everything because we're going to go back over with some really cool tricks. So right now I'm even crossing the lines. I'm trying not to get out of the line of my actual mane, so I don't want to go too far up or too far down, but I'm crossing the lines that I've drawn, and that's okay. They're just going to kind of help us really show a little bit more definition and detail. We don't have to follow them exactly. All right, so I've colored most of my mane in. Don't want to forget my bangs. There we go. Now, I'm not going to put it away yet. I'm going to keep it because I might need to go back and add some more. And then I'm going to go with my next darker color. Not the darkest, but my next one. And I'm going to add some lines, kind of like hair. And I'm going to have them kind of go in this direction. Now, I did go over the line right there. That's okay. We want to try not to just go over the line every time, but it's going to happen sometimes, especially when you're adding in details like this. That's okay. And I'll give some up here too. I'm making mine in my bangs kind of the same shape as what I drew the bangs as, because that's kind of where the hair is laying over. I'm going to keep it out again just so I have more options. Then I'm still not going to go to my darkest color because it's pretty dark. I'm only going to use just a couple for the dark color. Here is my blue. It's just a regular blue, so it's going to be kind of in between. And I'm just really lightly coloring with it, and then maybe giving some lines in it too. And like I said, you guys don't have to do it like this. This is just one of the options. You can just go through and color, and that's fine. All using the different colors like this together does is just makes it look a little bit more realistic and have more, well, I've said detail a lot, but that's the word, detail. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this one in just a little bit more. And I'm going to draw some lines. And any spot that I see, so with my regular blue, any spot that I see a white space that didn't get the first blue on it, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in there, just so I don't have any big chunks of white left over. Give myself some lines right there to make it look like a hair texture. Now this is my darkest blue. It's pretty dark. It's pretty close to actually like being almost black, because it says navy blue, but it's darker than I thought it was. So I'm just going to use a few lines with it just to give a final like, hey, this is the direction the hair is going. You can even do some squiggly lines because your hair is, we already see the squiggly lines here, which means the hair can't be straight. It's got squiggles in it. So you can do some squiggles, you can do straight lines, you can do a little bit of both. I've got a little bit of both because I don't know about you, but my hair does both things. Okay guys, I am done drawing my unicorn.